Disclaimer. The myths we're about to explore are outdated, inaccurate, or just plain wrong, but they're still widely believed. Our goal isn't to judge anyone, but to break these misconceptions and help more people truly understand autism for what it really is, not what pop culture or rumors made it out to be. People with autism don't feel emotions. So picture this. You're watching a heartbreaking scene in a movie. Tears are rolling down your face and you glance over at your autistic friend who's just sitting there, stone-faced. And you might think, wow, do they even feel anything? But here's the twist. They feel it. Deeply. They just show it differently. One of the biggest myths out there is that autistic people are emotionless robots. But in reality, many of them actually experience more intense emotions than neurotypical people. They just might not express those feelings the way you're used to. No dramatic crying, no screaming at the TV, no hugging you when you're down. Instead, their emotions might come out through silence, pacing, flapping hands, or even a deep dive into their favorite interests. Think of it like this. Just because a song plays in a different language doesn't mean it has no meaning. Emotional expression isn't one size fits all. So no, they're not cold or detached. In fact, many autistic people have huge emotional worlds. You just need to learn how to listen to them on a different frequency. All autistic people are the same. Imagine walking into an ice cream shop that only serves vanilla. No toppings, no cones, no options, just plain vanilla. That's what this myth is like. It assumes that every autistic person is built from the same mold. But autism? It's more like a giant buffet. There's variety, uniqueness, and no single plate looks the same. Autism is called a spectrum for a reason. Some autistic people are chatty and love routines. Others might be nonverbal and communicate through tech or gestures. One might be a computer genius who codes entire games in their sleep. Another might struggle with loud sounds or unpredictable schedules. And then there are folks who just feel everything a little more intensely: sounds, lights, textures, emotion. This myth is like saying all cats act the same. Ever try comparing a lazy house cat to a Bengal tiger? So no, not all autistic people are math wizards. Not all avoid eye contact. And definitely not all are quiet or socially withdrawn. They each come with their own quirks, strengths, challenges, and personalities. Autism isn't a single story, it's a whole library. Vaccines cause autism. Alright, let's settle this once and for all. No, vaccines do not cause autism. This myth is like that one zombie in every horror movie. No matter how many times it's been buried with facts, it keeps crawling back. The rumor started in 1998 with a study that claimed a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. But here's the twist. That study, fully discredited. The doctor behind it lost his medical license. And over dozens of massive studies since then, involving millions of children, there has been zero scientific evidence supporting the idea that vaccines cause autism. Zilch. Nada. But unfortunately, the damage was already done. That single lie lit a fire that still burns in Facebook comment sections to this day. Here's the real deal. Autism is a neurological condition. It's likely caused by a complex mix of genetics and brain development, not by a needle. So the next time someone says, well, I heard vaccines, cut them off like a toxic ex. It's not just false, it's dangerous. Vaccines save lives. Spreading fear doesn't. Autism means low intelligence. Ever heard someone say, oh, he's autistic, so he must be slow? Yeah, let's go ahead and throw that idea into the nearest trash can. Autism has nothing to do with intelligence. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Here's the truth bomb. Intelligence in autistic people varies just like it does in anyone else. Some have intellectual disabilities, yes, but many have average, high, or even genius level IQs. We're talking solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, write code in their sleep, quote, Harry Potter verbatim smart. But because they may not express themselves the way people expect, less small talk, different eye contact, slower verbal responses, folks assume they're not intelligent. That's on us, not them. It's like judging a phone's performance by how pretty the ringtone is. You're missing the power inside. Some autistic individuals are incredible visual thinkers. Others crush logic puzzles. And some may not be great at academics, but can detect emotional shifts in a room like a radar. Intelligence doesn't always show up in report cards. Sometimes it shows up in focus, memory, or creativity. Bottom line, just because someone communicates or learns differently doesn't mean they aren't smart. It means we need a better definition of what smart even means. autistic people can't form relationships. Let's clear this up. Being autistic doesn't mean you're doomed to a life of loneliness. That's not just wrong, it's insulting. Autistic people can form friendships, romantic relationships, and deep emotional bonds. They just might do it differently. Think of relationships like dance styles. Most people are doing the cha-cha, eye contact, small talk, hugs, emojis. Autistic folks might be waltzing to their own beat. They may skip the small talk and go straight into deep convos about space, video games, or niche history facts. They might need more alone time. They might not always know how to read the room. But when they connect, it's real, loyal, honest, zero game. In fact, many autistic people crave connection. They feel love, empathy, and emotional closeness just like anyone else. But because they may struggle with things like body language or sarcasm, others mistake that as disinterest. Spoiler alert, it's not. So no, autism doesn't block connection. It just means that love and friendship might look a little different. And honestly, a relationship without the fake social rules? That sounds kind of refreshing. Autism is a childhood disorder. So picture this. A 7-year-old is flapping their hands in class, avoiding eye contact, and someone goes, "Ah, must be autism." But fast forward to adulthood, that same person is now 30, pacing in their apartment, overwhelmed by noise. And someone says, they're just quirky. See the problem? Autism doesn't disappear with age. It's not some childhood phase like a dinosaur obsession or eating glue. It's a lifelong neurodevelopmental condition. Autistic kids grow into autistic teens and then autistic adults. They don't magically outgrow it when they hit 18 and start paying taxes. What changes is how they cope. With time, some people get better at masking, hiding their traits to fit in. But that doesn't mean the autism vanished. It just means they've learned to survive in a world that wasn't built for them. Adults with autism often go undiagnosed for years, especially women, because the spotlight tends to stay on kids. But trust us, grown-up autistic folks are out there, working, dating, parenting, struggling, thriving, existing. So no, autism isn't a childhood disorder. It's a lifelong identity, and it deserves recognition at every age. Nonverbal means non-intelligent. Here's one of the most harmful myths out there. If someone doesn't speak, they must not understand. Wrong. So wrong. Speaking isn't the only way to think, and definitely not the only way to be smart. Nonverbal autistic people might not use spoken words, but that doesn't mean there's nothing going on upstairs. In fact, many of them have sharp minds, deep thoughts, complex emotions. They just express it differently. Some use text-to-speech devices, others use gestures, picture boards, or eye-tracking technology. And some, they're typing essays while people assume they can't count to 10. Imagine being stuck in a country where no one speaks your language. You understand everything, but you just can't speak. That's how many nonverbal people live every day. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's a language barrier. We've seen nonverbal autistic people become authors, artists, coders, and public speakers, using tools that work for them. So next time you meet someone who doesn't talk, don't assume silence means emptiness. Sometimes the quietest minds are the most brilliant. They're just badly behaved. Let's say you see a kid in public covering their ears, rocking back and forth, maybe even screaming. Most people jump straight to, bad parenting, or that kid's out of control. But hold up, what you might be seeing is sensory overload, meltdown, or an autistic person struggling in a world that's way too loud, too bright, too confusing. Autistic people experience the world differently. A flickering light, a scratchy tag, a crowded mall, things that seem minor to you can feel overwhelming to them. And when their brain is short-circuiting from all that input, their reactions might look like misbehavior. But it's not a tantrum for attention, it's a survival response. Think of it like this. You wouldn't call someone badly behaved for having a panic attack, right? Same logic. What looks like rudeness or drama might actually be someone doing their best just to stay regulated. They're not trying to be difficult, they're trying to cope. So instead of judging, maybe ask, what do they need right now? Because trust me, no one is choosing to melt down in the cereal aisle just for fun. Autistic people all have special talents like in movies. Blame the movies for this one. One day, it's Rain Man counting toothpicks in a second. The next, it's a genius hacker cracking codes in a hoodie. So now people assume every autistic person is secretly a math wizard or musical prodigy. Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. Yes, some autistic people do have extraordinary abilities like photographic memory, hyperfocus, or advanced artistic or technical skills. It's called being a savant, and it does happen, but here's the truth, it's rare. Most autistic people don't have a jaw dropping talent. And guess what? That doesn't make them any less valuable or interesting. Autism is about how a brain is wired, not about unlocking superpowers. Some autistic folks are creative thinkers, others are great problem solvers. Some are detailed, methodical, passionate, and that's more than enough. Thinking all autistic people are gifted isn't a compliment, it's a pressure. It turns their very real challenges into some quirky plot twist, and that's not fair. So, yeah, not everyone's going to paint the Mona Lisa with their toes, and that's okay. Autism can be cured or fixed. Okay, let's get one thing straight. Autism is not a disease. So trying to cure it is like trying to cure someone for being left-handed or introverted. Autism isn't something broken. It's a different way of existing. And different doesn't mean defective. But somewhere along the line, people started treating autism like a problem that needs fixing, with miracle treatments, secret diets, or shady recovery programs. Spoiler, none of that works. Because autism isn't something you get rid of. It's something you understand and support. You don't fix autism. You adapt the environment, offer support tools, and respect how someone's brain works. That's how you help. Trying to erase autism means trying to erase autistic people. And that's not compassion. That's erasure. The goal isn't to make them normal. It's to help them thrive as themselves. So let's stop chasing cures and start embracing people. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And tell us in the comments which myth surprised you the most or what topic you'd like us to break down next.